Blessings, good evening. We'll begin with some quiet meditation for a short period. So please find a comfortable posture. If you're sitting on the floor, the Buddha encouraged us to sit one leg on top of the other with a straight back, one hand on top of the other in our lap. Bring your attention inwards to your own body and mind as you're sitting right here. If you do nothing else this week, a few moments practicing mindfulness of breathing, bringing more calm self-control to your life, developing some insight into the Four Noble Truths that will give your week value. The Buddha once said in the hierarchy of karma, skillful action, the practice of developing the thought or the object of loving kindness is very high. Making your mind peaceful, very powerful good karma, developing insight into the changing nature of your own body and mind so that you let go of some of your delusions is also amazingly good karma. So a few minutes devoted to that, developing those kinds of good karma, will surely be useful for you in your life. So begin as you sit up straight, close your eyes, bring your attention to the feeling of the in and out breath, perhaps at the tip of your nostrils. And however your breath is presenting itself, it's long or short or interrupted if you have a cold or cough, whether it's coarse or refined, very subtle, hard to find, doesn't matter. Just allow the breath to go in its own way, just accept it the way it is. Try to bring your attention, your full attention, to the feeling, the sensation of the breath, as a simple but direct way to get to know your own mind at this time. So if you're paying attention to the feeling of the in and out breath, then your mind will be there. When you're thinking about other things, you no longer know where your mind is, as it were. You've lost that control and that direct knowledge of your own mind. We're so used to thinking and following our moods, we don't realize, but we spend much of our day not paying full attention to our body and mind in the present moment, but lost in trains of thought, different emotions. But now is a time to bring attention to the feeling of the in and out breath as it's continuing from moment to moment. This is a way to improve your strength of mind, strength of mindfulness, sati, the quality of recollecting different objects. So at the moment, the center of your mindfulness is the breath itself, the feeling of the breath. To keep the breath in mind, to remember it, to know it, to know when the breath is going in, and know when the breath is going out. And also, you're cultivating clear comprehension, knowing the breath at each stage of an in-breath, the beginning, the middle, the end, each stage of the out-breath, beginning, middle, end. Already this is giving us insight into the impermanent nature of this body. Every breath is separate from the previous breath and the next breath. Most of the time the breath is so subtle we don't notice it unless you practice a lot of mindfulness of breathing. If we couldn't breathe, we'd be dead, or nearly dead. So breath is synonymous with life, the same as life. And our breathing reflects our mood too. As you keep bringing attention to the feeling of the in-breath, the out-breath, that action, that activity is fairly peaceful and it tends to calm you down. So it's a very useful practice to employ when you're feeling stressed, nervous, worried, angry, or if you have some obsessive desire that's really taking over your mind. If you can come back to the in and out breath, all of those different types of mental agitation will start to subside simply because you're putting your attention elsewhere on the breathing. Even though the sensation of the in-breath and the out-breath is a physical sensation, the movement of the lungs, the movement of air in, up the nose, down to the lungs, then out again. When you put your attention on that movement, your mind starts to calm down. And that unusual rush of thinking, many thoughts, different trains of thought will slow down, settle down. Or even if it doesn't, you gain some small amount of detached awareness from the activity of placing attention on the breath. And even if you can't yet calm your mind down from whatever mood or trains of thought are bothering it, at least you know them better. You can see them more clearly. So you might say it's always valuable to turn to the breathing in different situations, whether it's just momentarily establishing mindfulness, bringing your mind to the present moment, letting go of distraction, or whether it's on a more deeper level, developing a state of one-pointedness, whereby putting attention on the same place, knowing the same object over and over again, you let go of all other distractions, other objects of mind. Your mind just stays in one place through practice, through training. And it gets a good rest from all the different activity of thinking, remembering, reacting to things. Can even give us a rest from unpleasant feelings in the body itself. Pain, discomfort, feelings of tiredness. And with that detached awareness, you get a new perspective on your own physical and mental experience. Maybe things don't seem quite so intense or overwhelming when you're staying with the breath more. You can see thoughts are just thoughts, arising and ceasing. Feelings, pleasure, pain, arising, ceasing. Memory, arising, ceasing. You may not be able to completely end all your mental activity, but you now can see it as a changing process. And that gives us a sense of distance or separation, and allows you to maybe direct your mind to consider different things, to learn and to consider what's going on. Particularly in the beginning, it helps you to let go of more unskillful thinking that really agitates the mind, makes you feel ill at ease. And in the long run, gives you this insight into the changing nature of physical and mental phenomena, how they're influencing each other, but arising and ceasing all the time. So take a few more minutes just to practice that, mindfulness of breathing, calming your mind, observing the arising and passing away of phenomena, till you hear the sound of the bell.